Now, forward diagonal sandwich exercises are very much white bread sandwiches, and a lot of guitarists just settle for that. But I want to tempt you to also try some of these tasty brown bread sandwiches as well, that I call backward diagonal sandwich exercises. They're a little bit harder, but really quite tasty once you get used to them. Okay, so to demonstrate this one, I think I'm going to work from the 8th fret here with my pinky. So I'm in the sort of same position. My first finger's lined up with the 5th fret, little finger lined up with the 8th fret. It's just a little easier, less of a stretch working it this high up the fretboard. So it's good to start off with the easy stuff. So I play that note, and then I reach back, remember 3 by -3 to get my octave pattern. 3 strings back, 3 frets back, 3 strings up. And then, so that's one slice of bread. And then for my filling, I've got to think of the pattern again. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. Notice my little finger creeping in there, because I know that I need that finger to kind of come out a little bit there to get my next tone, and then semitone. So on the way up, that's tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone with the little finger, tone, semitone, and down again. First finger creeps in there, so I can reach that one more easily with the little finger, and then finish with another slice of bread. So that sandwich all together. Then I move across, exactly the same pattern, except this time there's no need to reach back. In effect, the 2nd string tuning anomaly helps me here to bring that note up a fret. And then off the D string, very similar pattern, except for as we hit the 2nd string, instead of using these 2 fingers, I use these 2, finish off. So those are my brown bread sandwiches. Whoops. Very tasty. Okay, so just to summarise, here's the whole drill played straight through. A veritable picnic of sandwiches. Seems like a bit of a weird drill, this one, doesn't it, at first glance? But let's explain a little bit about how it works. It's a conditioning drill. It's actually working on 3 different levels. On a physical level, it's conditioning your sort of muscle memory to move your fingers in a particular pattern. On a visual level, it's helping you recognise these patterns, pattern recognition. And on an oral level, it's training your ears to respond when you hear that octave, you deliver the major scale pattern. So this works at a pretty sort of subconscious level, so there's no need to think too much about it once you actually learn to do the drill. Then it's a matter of just drilling it and getting your body used to it. Now, You do have to practice this for quite a while to be able to use it with unerring success. I won't pretend otherwise. But let's imagine that you spent about half an hour on this drill and you've sort of fine-tuned your ears, your muscle memory and your sense of visual recognition to a point where you can begin to use these. How do we actually put them into action? Let's show you that. Okay, so first we need to set ourselves a little task to complete. And to do this, I'm going to pick a note at random. I'm going to do this using some cards I've made up specially. They're just cards using the names of the chromatic scale notes. So I'm going to shuffle those up now, nice and random, and just grab one out of the middle of the pack. And we've got G sharp. And I have another set of cards here with numbers on. These are fret numbers. So again, I'm going to shuffle those up, nice and random. Grab one out the middle of the pack, fret 6. So I've set myself the task of finding a G sharp major scale in or somewhere in the vicinity of fret number 6. G sharp 6. Right, so first I work my way down the fretboard until I can find the G sharp that's furthest away. There's a G sharp there, G sharp. I use my cage system. So let me think about this. I'm on the G string, so I start with my G shape. And I keep going until I've arrived at fret 6. Okay, I'm in a forward diagonal. My sandwich drill kicks in, and there's my, my major scale. You might prefer a backward sloping major scale. I'm glad I learnt to make those brown bread sandwiches. Or you might want a higher octave from fret 6. Yeah, so that's how that works. Let's just try one more. Put my cards back. So, a note at random, we've got F. A random fret number, 10. F at fret 10. So, there's my lowest F, I'm on the E string, so I start my cage system with the E shape, keep going. I'm up at fret 10, I'm in that pattern, sandwich drill kicks in, there's my F major pattern there, or I could have worked from here, I'm in the G shape, so I've got this option, or the backward sloping option. 3 possibilities again. Before you've done too many of these, you'll naturally find yourself shortcutting the process and going straight to the actual patterns you need. But to begin with, it's good to be systematic. Now, I'm confident that if you learn this trick well, it's going to enhance many, many areas of your guitar playing over the long run. But for the time being, let's just focus in on one area of application to show you how immediately useful this can be. I'm going to show you how I would use this system to find areas to use to improvise over a song that moves through several different key centres. So let's have a look at that. I'm going to use a backing track to the song The Girl from Ipanema. Now this is a notorious tune with a tricky sort of bridge section that goes through several different key changes. And I'm going to show you how I use the sandwich exercise to negotiate myself through those sort of awkward passages. Okay, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to use major scale patterns to show you how this works. So we're going to start with a key of F, the first part of the song, coming up any moment now. And I'm going to use that octave there. Supposing I want to extend backwards. So So I'm working that octave pattern there. Maybe I want to come down here. Now I can use that octave. Now it goes to D flats. So I work that octave there, then E. Then F, let's work this one. Back to this one. Maybe this one now. This one. This one. Wrong notes. D flats. Working that octave. E. Let's jump to here. Working that octave. F. Jump up here. Let's use the back of one. Way. And so on. Hope you could follow that okay, and that gave you something of a glimpse of a direct application of these drills that we've been over in these last two lessons. Of course, mastering the use of this cage system and the sandwich drills does take practice. But time spent on this is time very well invested indeed, especially if you're serious about becoming a really good guitar player. These are very, very powerful tools indeed. Now, in the next lesson, we'll begin to look at how we use the sandwich drill for other scales and for chords and arpeggios and things. But in the meantime, it's very, very important to get right on top of just using it for the major scale, because everything else is going to be related to the major scale patterns. So stuff yourself with sandwiches, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.